This presentation is being recorded. I just hit record to start the recording, and will be shared with everyone who registered for this presentation probably tomorrow. So let's go ahead and do introductions. My name is Annabelle Corey. I'm one of the career advisors in postgraduate planning and experiential education at Case Western Reserve University. I do a lot of work with international students, but I also have several colleagues who are also able to support students in career education. We work with students in several areas of career development, including career assessments to learn about your interests and personality, jobs and internship search strategies, interview prep, grad school application support, and research opportunities. Our office also has pre-professional advisors to support students applying to law school, medical school, and other professional health programs. Every semester, we host various workshops, employer and networking events, and career fairs. And we strongly encourage students, particularly our international students, to visit us early and to develop their career plans. We are open over the summer. We are all currently working remotely, but several of the career advisors have scheduled times to meet with students outside of the typical 9 to 5 office hours. So if you are in a different time zone, hopefully that helps accommodate your schedule a little bit better. So this provides a little bit of information about our office. I will also be sharing a specific resource, a specific online resource to help you with your career networking later on in the program. But right now, I'm honored to introduce our guest speaker. I actually met Quan through a CRU alum who used the Alumni Career Network, which is the tool I'll be sharing with you later. But I bring that up briefly just to emphasize the importance of developing and using your professional network. You never know who you might connect with and what benefits that connection may yield. Joining us tonight is our presenter, Quan Siegel, who is an experienced human capital consultant. She brings 15 years of professional experience at various organizations, including BMW, Accenture, and Deloitte. Her human capital knowledge and multicultural awareness, through her human capital knowledge and multicultural awareness, Quan has designed a customized training program that equips international students with the skills for their career search, encourages them to break through cultural barriers, and prepares them to enter the U.S. professional world. She is the founder and CEO of ICAway, and she's determined to build an empowering community for international students that lights the way for them to find jobs in the U.S. Quan holds an executive MBA through the Kellogg School of Management and the Sessin Graduate Institute of Business Administration International Education Partnership Program, and a certification of Senior Professional in Human Resources at HRCI. Welcome, Quan. Thank you for joining us. Please
Thank you so much, Annabelle. Thank you so much for your kind introduction, and it's such, truly an honor to be here. You just told us about you working like 24/7 serving international students, and you have an amazing team supporting international students. So it's so amazing to be here coaching, have a chance to coach international students at Case Western Reserve University with you today. And good morning or good afternoon or good evening, everyone, depending on where you are joining us from. Again, my name is Quan Siegel, and my students normally call me Coach Quan, so you can call me that too. And I'm calling in from Chicago. So after this pandemic, if any one of you happen to visit Chicago, please stop by and say hi, okay? I would love to meet with you in person. So today, let me go to the next slide. Today, I will talk about the trends of the job market in the US during this pandemic, and some tips. I will share some tips on how to bypass the traditional job searching and tap into the hidden job market. And at the end, Annabelle will have an online resource to share with you, the online resource that will help you connect with your alumni and network with them. And maybe some of them will be your potential mentor or job referrals in the future. So before I start, I would like to learn a little bit about your background. You have already learned about my background. I want to hear from you. Can you please use the chat button? I believe that is in the bottom of the screen. Could you please share with me, are you an undergrad student or graduate student? And what is your major? Can you please use the chat box and share with me so I can have a look and see how many of you are undergraduate student and how many of you are graduate students? Can you see the chat box? All right, we have graduate student majoring in marketing operations. Amazing. Undergraduate students accounting, graduate finance. All right, thank you, Mercy. We have graduate student PhD in applied mathematics. Amazing. All right, computer science. That's great. We have another accounting student. We have nurse practitioner. That's amazing. Chemical engineering PhD, finance, computer science, physics, innovation, entrepreneurship, accounting, and data science. All right, we have such a diverse background attendees today. It's such an honor to meet you all today, and thank you for sharing this with me. Okay, so I hope that this conversation that I'm going to share with you today, it will apply to all of your fields, you know, whether you are the healthcare professionals or practitioners, or you are the someone who want to get into the finance field or business field. So let's have a look what we have today. I believe that, you know, no matter what kind of academic discipline that you're joining right now, all of you have the same goal, right? One of the reasons that you go to the college is that you want to find employment at the end. So my heart really goes out to the class of 2020, as you are now facing multiple challenges, right? With ongoing pandemic, with this current political climate, and also this current protests and riots throughout the country. Many of you may be wondering how you should approach this strange reality, right? Even if I am attending the school right now, I would be so discouraged and worried as well. And it's true that it's so extremely challenging. This is the time that's so challenging for anyone. What I want to tell you is that besides working hard on trying to get a job right now, which is a great thing, I want to make sure that all of you also taking care of yourself, okay? Have some time for yourself to gain your strength back. Go out for a walk. This is a summertime. It's great to enjoy the summertime a little bit while stay safe as well. And give yourself some routine practice that help you call an intention and connect to your strength. Okay, when your mind is clear, it is easier to solve any problem that comes in front of you. I would like you to do that. And at ICAway, on top of the comprehensive training program that we have for international students, I also set up weekly session for our student members to share trends and discuss key action items with them on a weekly basis, so that they can optimize their job search results during this tough time. So today, I would like to share some of these data with you, okay, and some tips that I have coached international students at ICAway in the past weeks. So let's have a look. All right, what you need to be aware of when entering the post-coronavirus job market is that we all know, number one here, there will be lots of people looking for jobs at the same time, right? There is almost 4 million college students in the United States this year. And at the same time, a few professionals who got laid off and furloughed will be looking for job. They are now back in the job market as well. And then the new job openings have dropped by 30% since the beginning of March. It sounds very challenging, right? I want to share this fact with you, not to make you feel discouraged, okay? But I want you to be aware that by following just like traditional job searching process, like applying online, like you normally do, will not work out for you anymore. That is why we are here today, to teach you how to tap into the hidden job market. All right, so My message to you is there are still jobs available in the market, but you need to tap into the network of those companies before it goes to the public. Let's have a look what's next. All right, I just share some, data and fact, right, that might be discouraging, but I also want to share some good news with you. Look at this graph, you guys, look at this graph. The rate of job posting decline has slowed down, right? And it's climbing up right now. There is a sign of rebound. It is an indicator that the job market is coming back when the United States now start to reopen their economies, right? Many states are now reopening. And once the economy is fully reopened, the question is, will you be ready to grab the opportunity when the job market ramp up faster than you expect? Will you be ready for that? That's the question that you need to answer. So, before I continue, again, I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear from you about your current challenges when looking for jobs in the US. Can you please share with me, type in the chat box, what is the number one challenge you face when looking for a job in the US? What is the number one challenge that you face when you look for job in the US? All right, not being a citizen, work visa, right? Employer not sponsoring, work visas. Okay, another work visa. All right, sponsorship, what else? Network, we have one different answer. That's amazing. Wait, that's a great answer. Okay, League said network as well. All right, anybody else? Any other answer? What is your number one challenge when you look for job here in the US? Job interviews. Okay, great. Now, okay, sponsorship. Okay, so we have three different answers here, right? We have work visas, we have network or new connections, we have job interviews. They are also related, and it's true. These are the top barriers for international students when looking for jobs. And it's pretty common that when you think about the number one challenge in finding a job here as an international student, work visa has normally been the number one challenge that you think of, right? Just like what we see in the chat box right now, maybe 90% of you said work visa. So let me show this data with you. Let's have a look at this. This is the trends of H-1B visa petition filed by American employers in the past years. Did you see this? American employers need highly skilled foreign workers. Let's have a look at the number here, the comparison of H-1B application here. In 2015, you see this? There is a peak. In 2015, the number of H-1B petition passed 200,000, right? But look at this year. It's climbed up to over 270,000 applications, petitions filed by US employers. Is it good news, right? So you see, US employers do need highly skilled foreign workers. If you can prove to them that you have the right skills and you be able to tackle the problems and help solve the company problems and be there as a valuable asset to the company, they will be happy to sponsor you. And even with the latest attempt to suspend OPT, you know what happened? What happened was that more than 300 employers and business groups in the US have collaborated and sent a letter to Trump urging him not to restrict the OPT program or other visa programs for high skilled workers. So you see, you have all wonderful people back you up. Many American businesses have highly supportive of the OPT and H-1B program. All you have to do is just to be skilled, all right? Make sure that you have the right skills for the job and be able to market yourself. And let me show you how to network with people. And this is the objective of this call. So let me sip some water. I'm losing my voice a little bit. So You are so right, right? Majority of our friends today said that work visa is your number one job search barriers. And from West research, they also found that 69% of the international student alumni also said the same thing. Majority of them said work visa is the number one job search barriers. But look at this second barrier here. Lack of professional connections. Not having a connection is one of the major obstacles for international students in finding jobs in the US. Why having connection is so important? Why is it so important? Let me show you this data. Okay, have you seen this before? On average, okay, this is before the pandemic. On average, each job opening attracts 250 resumes, and only around 2% of applicants will get called for an interview. And during this pandemic, the number of applications will be much more than 250 per job for sure, right? So the percent of candidates who get the interviews is also much lower than 2%. You see, it's so hard. It's so hard to get results from applying online. Why don't you bypass all of this, including the immigration question hurdles, and tap into the hidden job market? Because 80% of them, 80% of the jobs are in the hidden job market. Okay, the hidden job market means that those jobs are the jobs that haven't been advertised or posted online at all. These employers shared these these opportunities with their network and keep getting candidates through employee referrals. And many of those jobs have, actually, this is the fact, okay? Many of the jobs that have posted online, sometimes they already been filled internally or via referral. So even it's posted online, it's not recruiting anymore, right? But they just need to post it online because of the compliance reason. So sometimes that is the reason why sometimes when you submit the application online, you hardly get any response, or sometimes it's just the rejection letter in the next day. It's so discouraging, right? So I want you to change the approach. This is my vision. I want you to be able to achieve this high success plan. This is what I called ICAway high success plan. I want you to be able to start, start from here, build meaningful connections with US professionals. And then those professionals will become your career advocates and connect you with the hiring manager directly. Get the red carpet job interviews, right? And once they connect with you directly with the hiring manager, the competitors out there, you don't have to compete with anyone, right? You just get the red carpet right away. And sometimes they don't even care that you need work sponsorship in the future or not, because your network have already put in good words about you. They already believe in you, right? But to achieve all of this, all you need is to have an excellent networking skill. Let's have a look. At ICAway, we developed a comprehensive 7 steps roadmap, okay, to help students find jobs in the US. And we have free booklet that talks about these 7 steps in detail. So I would like you to go to my website and download that. Okay, maybe after this call, and I believe that tomorrow we will share the site as well. You can go to icway.com and just put in your email right here, and after that, you will get the you will get the guidebook directly to your mailbox. All right. So all of these 7 steps, because today we will focus on 3 steps here that focus on networking strategy only. Okay, 3 steps of networking strategy. Number 1 is build meaningful connections. And number 2 that I will teach you today is to make people like you and want to help you. And number 3 is to create a networking game plan. All right. Now, what is meaningful connections? That is the first step, right? Build meaningful connections. When I ask students this question, Have you built a meaningful connection with professionals in the US? Many students said yes, and this is their answer, okay? They said that, yes, those people agree to refer me to the company when there is a job opening. And that's how they define meaningful connection. Unfortunately, that's not how we build a meaningful connection. You may say like, Coach Kwan, isn't that the purpose of networking? You found a job and then you try to connect with someone and ask for a job referral. Is that supposed to be? All right, so please let's walk through some idea with me here, okay? Some scenario with me. When someone agrees to refer you, okay, to like agrees to refer you, you may get a referral link, right? A referral link to your mailbox that you have to apply until a certain expiry date. So what happened is you may like apply online for like 10 different jobs, as many jobs as possible through that referral system. Again, it's an online application. It is another vicious system, all right? Vicious cycle of applying online all over again. Getting referred through the system is not as effective as getting referred by connecting you with directly with the hiring manager. The perfect scenario is that someone really believes in your capability and then connect you directly with the decision maker. All right, you don't have to go through any online application. Even the referral online application will not work well either. Okay, I want you to be able to speak with the decision maker before even applying online. Okay, so this is the old mindset and this is the new mindset. When when you just connect with someone to get a job and did not try to build relationship with them, if you don't get picked out from applying through that referral system, just imagine like how many times, right, that you be able to reach back to them and ask for help, right? So instead of just thinking about reaching out to people to find jobs, think about use this new mindset. Okay, start networking with people because you are interested in their career path. All right, or maybe in the article that they just wrote and you just send them the message, I really enjoyed reading your article about this and that, right? Or something like any recent accomplishment that they have made. Talk about it, right? As a young professional, you could just reach out to them and let them know that you want to learn from them, explore new perspective from them, all right? But I also understand that many of you avoid networking because the fear of rejection, right? Is it right? The fear of rejection. And I completely get that. Okay. I was, I, I am not, I'm still not. Nobody likes getting rejected, right? I'm not a big fan of getting a rejection either. And I'm telling you, when I started networking here in the US, I moved to the US 6 years ago. All right, completely brand new. Like I travel here for education and for work from time to time, but never really like live here permanently. So when I moved here and tried to look for jobs myself, I network a lot because I know networking is so important, but I didn't do it right. So all I got was rejections. But I learned from my mistake and I changed my approach. Okay, and finally, I made it right and I got lots of meaningful connections and people that really want to advocate me to the hiring manager. And right now, at this time of my life, you guys, I really love networking. And that's how I found Annabelle as well, right? I met the alumni and the alumni connected me with Annabelle. This is the reward of networking, build meaningful relationship. So I want you to do this too, to get higher chances or higher rate of networking success. You cannot just, you know, be afraid of getting rejection. But here's a tip that I'd like to share with you. First of all, when you want to connect with someone, okay, I want you to ditch the pitch. Just throw away your elevator pitch out of the window. Instead of showing off, what you have achieved in the first paragraph when you write someone an email, networking email or email or through LinkedIn, right? Instead of just showing off your accomplishment. In the first paragraph, write about your interest about that person, why you want to connect with them, what about them that you came across and you truly admire. Open up the stage with something that you like about that person. That is something that I really want you to do. Okay. And during the conversation, even though I know like during this COVID-19 situation, during this pandemic, there won't be any in-person meeting anymore, but you can still set up a phone call or a Zoom conference like this, right? Video conference. And when you are on the call with them, try to build meaningful connection by find a common interest that you two share that is rare. And when it is time for you to start introduce yourself, your story will be much more well received by your new connection. It is much better than starting out by an elevator pitch. Okay? Start by sharing with them why you are interested in that person. Talk about them. That is the tip to build meaningful connection. And don't ask for the job referral right away. Please don't. You can do that, but not right away. Okay? All right. So from here, I hope that you have gained a better understanding of the importance of building meaningful connections. Okay? Along with the confidence to build a meaningful professional network. And next is I want to share some tips to help you build trust and engagement with professionals and turn them into your career advocates. In this step, I call it make people like you. All right, so let's have a look. Do you agree with this statement, right? People do business with people they like. Finding a job is like you are a full-time business owner. Yeah? You need to find people who trust in you enough and like you enough to give you the business. All right. So by having a goal of building meaningful connections, you will get higher response rate, right, from your connection request. And after connecting with them, whether on LinkedIn or email or your school networking platform, next is to ask them for a phone or video call. And then the question is, what are the approach to engage people on the call, right? Let's find out. Here are my favorite 3 asks when connecting with a professional. First, you share your interest about them by asking good questions. These questions can be both professional level and personal level. One thing that I really love about the American culture is that people are so open up to talk about their personal side in the first meeting. You know, it does not need to be 100% work related. So in the US, don't be afraid of getting to know someone about their personal side. For example, if your connection is living in New York City, right? You can simply ask them, did you if they like grew up in New York, for example. One thing about Americans is that Americans have diverse background. They relocate, they live in the different states, different cities. Majority of them do that. So when you ask this question like, did you grow up in New York, for example, right? Many of them will have some interesting stories to share with you. And that is the best way to break the ice. And the second one is ask for advice. People love to give advice, okay? When asking for advice, please be very strategic as well. Like, for example, one student who was on a call with me last week asked me what kind of certifications he should acquire if he want to grow his career in supply chain. That is a really good one. You can do that as well. Or you can simply ask your new connection like this, like, I want to build a career in, for example, finance field. Who will be the person that you recommend me to reach out to? You can tap into their network by asking advice as well. All right. So please make sure that you do your homework and have a clear goal before getting on a call with someone, and then ask the right question and ask for advice. The last one is the magic question. Third is to ask if there's anything that you can help them with. Okay? Offer your service. Don't think that you are too young and there's nothing that you can do to help them with. You'll be surprised, okay, how this question will help you nurture the relationship with your new connection on going forward. All right, so I'm going to go quickly to the last step right now and then transfer the presentation to Annabelle after this final step, okay? So from here, you have learned the magic behind successful networking and an approach to make people like you, okay? Next, I want you to start creating an actionable networking plan that helps you build meaningful connections with your target professionals. First, I want you to identify, okay? Think of someone that you share common interests with or someone that you want to be like in the future. Now, where can you find them? Here's my recommendation. And the tool that Annabelle will show you will help you find them as well. All right, but before I jump into that, let's talk about this a little bit, okay? Many students limit their network with their own community, right? Maybe you just network with your international students in your community because it's very comfortable, right? To be able to speak your language. It's comfortable to be able to share the home cooked food together. I know, I understand that because I'm a foreigner too in this big country, right? It's tough to be by yourself here and you miss home. I understand that completely. But if you want to get a great job, you need to get out of that comfort zone right now. Okay? And this is what I want you to do. I would like you to explore professional affiliations and be a part of it. Okay, and here are some examples of professional organizations that I encourage you to be involved in. You should consider participating in their events. During this time, there will be lots of virtual events that you can join or become a member of these two types of organization. One, the left side, the blue one, organizations that support your ethnicity. For example, like me, I'm originally from Thailand, okay? I'm Asian. So I joined ASEAN, which is the largest Pan-Asian leadership community in North America. And from that experience, I got a chance to meet lots of partner level, director level of all the big four. Come on, accounting student, finance student, I know that you are listening to me right now. So Ascend is the right fit organization for you. I hope that you already have been involved with this organization, okay? And for example, if you are so interested in project management, there is an organization, for example, like PMI, Project Management Institute, right, that you can participate in. You will meet lots of professionals in the field that you want to get in. Don't be afraid that, again, don't be afraid that you are too young and don't have enough experience, okay? That's actually the card that you can play during this job search game. So this is your homework. Please try attending any of their virtual events from any of these organizations that I'm sharing with you right now. Okay, let's see what are the events that coming up this month. Put it in your calendar, reserve the spot, join it, and let me know the results that you have achieved from joining that. Okay, I would love to hear from you. After getting a chance to meet with your target professionals through a networking platform and arrange the first phone call with them to build meaningful connections, next is to make sure that you maintain that connection with those people. All right, please remember that networking is not a numbers game, it's a people game. Once you've met the right person, don't let the relationship die. Don't stop, okay? Make sure that you follow up and check in with them on a regular basis. You can share some good articles that you know that they may be interested in with them on a on a monthly basis, checking into or just you can just check in to see if they are safe and healthy during this uncertain time. That's a simple way to follow up or check in. Once the meaningful connection has been built, don't be afraid to ask for help. Again, don't just, you know, do that meaningful connection. You can always ask for help. All right. So when you see a job post, after you have built meaningful connection, when you see a job post or you see someone that you want to connect with, and you know that your network have that mutual connection, you can ask for their insights, right? And ask if they would feel comfortable helping you. If this person really likes you, they will put in a good word for you, and that will give you higher chances to present yourself in front of the decision maker. Okay. All right. So I hope that you'll be able to achieve this high success plan, right? That I just showed you earlier before. Start with building meaningful connection with US professionals. Engage them to become your career advocate. Through a connection, your chances to receive a job offer will be much higher. And that is what we call tapping into the hidden job market. All right. I would love to connect with you, everyone. If you have any additional questions after this webinar, please feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn. Okay. Add me on LinkedIn. Let me know as well that you attended this webinar, because I have a free gift for you. I have a LinkedIn guidebook to share with you. So connect with me and let me know that you attended this webinar. For students who are not attending live right now and watching this from a recording, you can do the same as well. And I also have WeChat. So look for me. WeChat ID is ICAway. Okay. All right. So Annabelle, sorry that I take so much time from these 3 steps. I'm so interested to see these networking tools that you have for the students. I'm
All
going to
right.
stop sharing and let you share your screen.
All right. Thank you so much, Coach Kwan. We really appreciate you sharing those tips. They're so vital to being successful in your job search. Networking is one of the most important components of the job search strategy. So I hope you've taken away some good steps from what Coach Kwan has had to share. I do want to share an online resource. Before I do that, if you have questions, please go ahead and type them into the chat, and we will try to get to them after I do this very brief demo. So I am sharing my screen, and hopefully you are seeing what is called the Alumni Career Network, which is an online resource available through the case.edu/postgrad website. I will send this in the follow-up email tomorrow so you have a way to access it. But this is a very valuable tool for you to conduct networking. The Alumni Career Network is a database of several thousand alumni from the Case Western Reserve University, as well as students and community members. So I do want to point out that while we're talking about networking with professionals, there's also tremendous value in peer-to-peer networking. Your peers have done internships, your peers are doing job searches, so even networking with them can be really valuable and provide good insight into their experiences as well, and can be an easier entree into networking in general if you're very nervous about it. So don't hesitate to reach out to your peers to do networking as well. So this is the dashboard for the Alumni Career Network. I'm just quickly going to show you how to use this to search for alumni. You can type anything into this search bar, a city or company or job title of interest, to find alumni that are affiliated with that city or country or job. So I'm going to just type in Google. Because I know a lot of students that I meet with that are international are very interested in these large companies. So there are 12 matches that come up for Google. That means there are 12 alumni who have Google somewhere in their profile. And I can click on any of them to learn a little bit more about them. Let's just for purposes of this demo, I'm going to click on the very first one. This alum's name is Jason. He's a software engineer at Google. He graduated recently and is in the Seattle area. He has already used this platform. As you can see, he's had 8 connections and 8 chats. And you can scroll through his profile to learn a little bit more about him. And you have 2 options at this point. You can send Jason a message, or you can schedule a call. Sending a message is basically sending an email message to introduce yourself, which can be daunting because what do you say? And how do you word it? And how do you phrase it? So I typically recommend trying to schedule a call because it's a little bit more actionable. And if I click on this, you'll see if I choose an agenda, maybe you're interested in getting an internship at Google, you can choose that getting an internship agenda, and voila, there's already text listed in that email that you're going to send. So all you have to do is add the reason you're reaching out. So you can edit any of this text, you can change the questions, you can add questions, but you do have to tell the alum why it is you are reaching out before you are able to request the call. And once you do that, the system facilitates an email to the alum. The alum lets you know sometimes they're available for a call. And then the platform actually provides a free conference line at the time that your call is scheduled, so you don't have to share personal information in advance of having your first connection with that alum. So it's a really powerful tool, and if you're looking for a little bit more homework, I know you may be in classes this summer, but you may not have as much classwork to do during the summer months. So a little homework will be for you to go onto the Alumni Career Network, create your profile, and reach out to some alumni that are working in companies or have roles that you aspire to have yourself in your future career. One other quick thing I want to share with you is this communities section. And there is a specific community for international students and alumni. So joining this could be a really beneficial way for you to connect with other international students as well as alumni around the world. All right, so I've finished sharing my online resource, and I'd like to open up the floor if there are any questions that anyone has for myself or Coach Kwan to answer.
Do you have any questions? You can leave your questions in the chat box. Or I'm not sure if they can unmute their microphone, Annabelle.
I believe you can unmute. If you want to unmute yourself and voice your question, you're welcome to do that, or you can use the chat box.
Do you have any questions?
Yeah, I have a question. Hi.
Yes,
So
go ahead.
yeah, so if I schedule a call, so what kind of questions should I ask, and like what kind of the opening should I prepare? Thank you.
Yeah, I think you're referring to the Alumni Career Network, and in that drop down there are several different agendas that you can choose from, and there are 3 to 4 questions in each of those agendas. So you can decide if those questions align with what it is that you're curious about before you send that message off, and then have it in front of you when you have the call to be able to ask those questions of that alum, because that's what they'll be expecting, is to try to answer those questions that were in your original outreach message. In terms of preparing, as Coach Kwan said, just ditch the pitch. You don't have to be 100% prepared. Just have a conversation, get to know the individual, and it's better if it's not scripted, though having worked with a lot of international students, I know that some scripts or some words written down sometimes are helpful to you. But think about those 3 asks that Coach Kwan touched on. Ask a question, ask for advice, and ask how you can help them.
Thank you, Annabelle. That's just a beautiful summary. And see you, the question was from ZU, right? Do I pronounce your name correctly?
Yes.
All right, great. So definitely one thing that I'd like you to do is do a little bit research about that person and just find one thing that you really admire them. And you set up a call, you can ask, I want to learn about your path to this amazing leadership role. That is something like, anyone would love to jump on a call and share that with you, especially an alumni.
Okay, thank you so much. That's very helpful.
My pleasure. And keep me posted, okay, how it goes with that first call.
Okay, thank you.
Are there other questions?
Maybe if you'd like to share a little bit of the last time that you connected with someone and it was not successful, when you feel like you did everything right, maybe you can share that with us or ask the questions, I know many students ask me they have been sending messages in mail to many people but hardly get any responses, right? And sometimes I just ask them to copy the screen and share that with me, and it turns out like the email message was maybe 5 paragraph long and it's too long, right, Annabelle?
Yes.
One thing about the American culture is that things do not need to be too formal. And like from my background, we learn English writing and we need to write a good correspondence, which is, start with the introduction, detail, and ending, right? A conclusion. But sometimes with the networking message, it's better to be short, within 5 sentences max. Anyone with any questions or any follow-up questions or challenges that you want to share?
So there is something in the chat box from Lee, how to continue the conversation. Sometimes it's easy to start the connection, but more difficult to manage a long-term relationship. And I know you touched on that a little bit, Kwan, in terms of following up and keeping that connection going. Do you want to say anything further about that?
Yes, thank you, Annabelle. I can even raise an example of our communication, right? How the alumni connected me with you and how we try to maintain the connection, right? It was since the fall semester. So it's been many months and the relationship takes time.
Yeah.
So all you need to do is just to touch base with the person, how you're doing. And again, as I mentioned, you can share something helpful for that person. When you jump on a call, you got a chance to learn about their interest. So you can write it down, have a maybe what I love is an Excel, or I use Evernote to take notes about that person. So I log what is their interest, right? And from time to time, I send something helpful for them to keep that connection, right? And maybe once in a while, you ask for a phone call to reconnect. And people would love to reconnect, right? Ask what time works for them for that reconnection, just to catch up to see how you're doing. Yeah. Am I answering your question, Lee?
Thank you. I would just add one additional item, and that is to, if you are connecting on LinkedIn and you're using LinkedIn, you can stay connected with a connection by commenting on or liking any posts that they make. Then you don't have to do, it's not as heavy a lift. You don't have to reach out with an update, but you're still maintaining that connection by showing that you're interested in their content. Or posting content yourself whenever you have an update can be a way to build your professional brand on LinkedIn and get people to comment and congratulate you or make comments or like your content on LinkedIn. So I do recommend leveraging LinkedIn because it is a very powerful professional networking tool and a great way to build your professional brand online. There is another question. Is there any good resource that can help improve our interviews? Thank you. I can field that one, Kwan, if you want. So we do have an online resource that is available to all students called Big Interview. It's a tool that allows you to practice interview questions by industry, by job type, and record yourself and give yourself, review how you respond to those questions. So that's a tool that you can use 24/7. It's accessible on our resource page, the same page that the Alumni Career Network is available on. And I'll post in the chat the direct link to that shortly. But in addition to Big Interview, that online resource, our career advisors meet with students regularly to do practice interviews or mock interviews. You don't have to have an interview lined up to make a mock interview appointment, but they can be really helpful. It can be a complete game changer because if you practice some of those typical interview questions before you go into the real life scenario of an interview, you're that much more prepared to answer those questions and to sit in that hot seat, so to speak.
That's an excellent point. I completely agree with you. Practice the interview before you get to the interviews. Yes, that is a very good question, Heng Hu.
All right. I just posted the link in the chat. Thank you for that question. Any other questions or comments or stories anybody would like to share about their networking experience?
I wonder if anyone has made a networking game plan before. Anyone? Or you do the networking randomly? Let's try create one after this, okay? Yes.
I could share something, but it's not about a game plan.
Oh,
So
excellent.
it's kind of an anecdote and also mixed up with a question, I guess. So I once had a connection, a very important connection at a firm I interned at. And I ended up talking to somebody who was super high placed up there. And that was nice, and having that person giving me some of the time and answering my questions, I really appreciated that. But even setting up the call was so difficult because the person is super busy and has meetings all over the place. And so even though I was super grateful and I really appreciated talking to the person, I have really hesitated, and actually I have not been able to send another email or even ask for another call or something like that, because I don't know, part of me, I guess, kind of feels like the person is too busy and I shouldn't be adding anything to the plate. It's probably not reasonable, but I'm wondering if you would have any tip for me for how to reconnect, and maybe what frequency to use and what would be the best way to reconnect with that person, knowing that we've only had one conversation so far.
Annabelle, would you like me to take that question?
Sure, go ahead.
Yes, okay. Your name is Kayel, right? How to pronounce that?
Kayele.
Kelly, beautiful name.
Kayele, thank you.
Kelly.
Kayeli. Kayeli.
Yeah, Kelly. Okay. I need to practice that, but thank you, and it's a beautiful name. Okay, so just one phone call, and this person is like high ranking, busy person, right? Right, I have that kind of experience all the time. The first thing in your mind is that you think about the value that I can create, that you can create for that person. Um, review those conversations that you had with him. Even someone who's like so successful, they always need help. Think about the goal that they are that he is having at this time. Maybe he wants to build a new team or expand into the new market, right? If you wrote down those conversation in the past and go back and review that and see what kind of goal that he wanted to achieve, and you can always share some resource that will be helpful for him. Another thing is like if, for example, if that the first time that you connected with this person was before the pandemic, uh, during this time you have all the excuse to reconnect with anyone, just to ask them how they are doing. That is a good time. This is a good timing to reconnect with people and drop a quick email, right? And check if they are doing okay, they are staying safe and well, and the business is going well. Check in with them. So this is the technique that you can use during this pandemic. And another thing is, right, as I mentioned before, think of the goal that he wanted to achieve and how you can be helpful and help him achieve that goal. And the frequency to reconnect, well, I will say definitely not like every week, right? It can be once a month, email, dropping in, sharing some helpful resources. To reconnect for a phone call, um, you can check in, like if it was like 2 months ago, you can come back and ask for a phone call during this time as well. Just check in with him, like when will he be available again for you to reconnect, because you are graduating this year and you want to learn a little bit about the industry, right? So professionals during this pandemic, oh my God, people have been even more helpful than before, because they know that it's so tough for new graduate. They want to help out. Okay, so I hope that I'm answering your question. Annabelle, you have anything to add?
I would just add that while they might be a busy professional, so they may not be very active on LinkedIn, but if they are, you could follow them and keep an eye out for any content or articles they might write or share and make comments on that. So it's a little bit more passive. It doesn't necessarily get you the conversation, but it keeps you top of mind with that professional. So that would be one other way that you might still be able to connect with them. But thank you for sharing that, Kayali.
Thank you
Can I
for
share something?
answering.
Yeah, yes, Murad, go ahead. You put something in the chat, so I
Yeah, that's kind of my experience with it. Like my OPT ended up in February, so I got kind of stuck here in the United States for a while. So once it ended, my manager did not want me to leave since January, so she was kind of pushing me away every time I bring the topic up. And I was like, I will be illegal here. But I really get in contact with my managers, with my supervisors, with also like some of the doctors that I work with and the physician assistant as well. So I kind of get connected with all the upper higher different professionals. And then once I left, that I have to, and the COVID came by March, I reached back and I was like, you guys need help. So I'm kind of trying to get back in volunteering, trying to do something with them. Unfortunately, when you have like a healthcare issue like that, it's hard for you to volunteer because the high risk of you getting it and then nobody will help you getting treatment for it. So I reached out to my manager a couple of times in March and she was willing to help me, and she connected me with the HR person, and then we kind of get back and forth with that since the OPTs ended, so I cannot legally work. And then I reached back again in April. Like I kind of keep up with them every month. At the same time, I'll connect with my coworkers at work and try to see how they're doing. And most of my coworkers give me good reference and good letters of recommendation that, and that's the reason that I get into the School of Nursing at Case Western. So, and then now since I'm becoming a nurse practitioner, I'm going to become a nurse practitioner. I reached out to one of my good professors at my undergrad, and I just had a meeting with her yesterday on Zoom. So she kind of a nurse practitioner as well, so she understands where I'm going to. So I'm still reconnect with my old professors and old teachers as well. So
That's great. Thanks
Yeah.
for sharing that, Murad. So you've completed your degree and completed your OPT and now you're back at home?
no, I'm here in the United States, still in Indiana, because I got stuck. So I couldn't leave the country.
I see.
I got accepted in April into the program. So I'm like staying now, trying to get back to school and all of that. So I'm kind of in limbo. It's been like a hard 4 months for me staying here, don't know what to do, especially with the COVID problem. So
Yeah, that's a difficult situation. I'm glad you've stayed connected with your coworkers because that's really important. It could be a really critical component to you being employed in the future.
yes, that's kind of one of my goals. Since I'm going to another profession, become a nurse practitioner, you really need to understand your network. Like you reach out to your old teachers, because when you go to nursing school, more the teachers who teach you, they at least have their master's degree, so they understand where you're going to. So that's why I reached out to my old teacher, because I was really nervous and I didn't know what to do. I'm confused. You know what I mean? And I also reached to my advisor. It's different. I really don't know my advisor, but I really do know my old teacher. So she kind of comforts me and taught me a lot about like what to do and how to connect with other people who are in the profession.
Great job, Murad. Yeah,
thank-
all I can say is that you're doing fantastic. Keep up the good
Yeah,
work and also stay safe as well.
yeah. The only problem is like kind of the work visa thing is like, you know what I mean? When you on OPT, you try to move to the work visa category, but it's really hard. Like, you know, and one of the also concern that for me also, like you always hear of the employment, like the unemployment rates, and you get concerned because you are international. And that's a fear when you look at people who are competing with you, trying to get the same job. So that's kind of one of the concern for me as well, because I'm like, if there are 40 million people are not having a job, am I gonna be at the top of the list? So.
Right. Well, I would invite you, any of you, to make an appointment with me or my colleagues in postgraduate planning and experiential education for further consultation. I want to take an opportunity to thank Coach Kwan for joining us tonight, imparting her wisdom and sharing some excellent information with all of you. And I want to thank all of you for taking time out of your day, wherever you are in the world, whatever time it might be where you are. I'm grateful that you took time to join us. And I'll be sending a follow-up email to all of you tomorrow. So you'll have my contact, and if you have any questions that didn't get asked tonight that you'd like to ask, please reach out to me, and please connect with Coach Kwan on LinkedIn so you can practice the networking skills that she has shared with you tonight.
It's truly an honor to be here with you today, Annabelle, and very nice meeting you all. Please stay safe and be well.
Thank you. Have a good night, everyone.
Good night.